Hello boys and welcome back to the Trade to Glory. We have recently just made over 100,000 coins in about 5 hours on the game. As you can see, it's just over 100,000 coins and it's actually been just less than 5 hours total on the game, right? I'm going to jump into exactly what we did, when we did it, how we did it, but more importantly, how you can do it going forward, right? And while we jump into the first bit, as we have just sold another silver card there, also, you can comment down below, boys, any investment you're thinking of, and I will get to every single one and let you know what I think of the investments. But let's start with what we did on the brand new account. And I guess the best place to actually start is not in SBCs, which we will get to. It's actually in the moments, okay? This is how I would do it on a brand new account. You might have already done this. You might be on 0 coins on an old account. But let me show you, okay, what I did exactly. So what we did was we went to the star gallery in moments and we went and got this 10 star pack for the rare consumables. I went and got 10 stars in moments. It took me like 5 minutes on the game. Does not take long at all. And I only made about 3,000 or 5,000 coins from that. But if you get some shadows and hunters, you can make 10 or 15k. We actually got really unlucky with that. But then what we did before we even started trading was we went to SBCs. We went to marquee matchups, which obviously was like a week ago now. So it was an old one. And we completed this top left squad. I think it was like Villarreal and someone. And we got a tradable, I think it was Electrum Players pack or something very similar. And in that, we got McAllister tradable. So yes, we made 10k from the pack, but we obviously got nothing from the consumables pack. So, you know, it kind of balances out. But basically, we went and did that as it's a great way to get 10k on the game without playing pretty much any games whatsoever. And I'd recommend you boys go do the same. Go and try and put some untradables into any tradable SBCs and go and do the moment stars before you start trading. We got 10k from about 5 or 10 minutes of playtime doing absolutely nothing. And it allowed us to start trading, right? So now we can jump into it. What did we actually do to start trading in that first hour? Well, I'm sure you boys would have seen, right? We'll get into a lot of this later, don't worry, but we used a card here, Ball Day. I've actually had to remove a lot of him from the transfer list. The plan was to keep every single card we sold here so you guys could see it and see exactly what we did, right? But we had to remove a lot of them from the transfer list just for space. This is exactly what we did, right? And I really recommend this for low budget. What is really important is when we did it as well. What I'm about to show you, we did at 6 o'clock, basically at content, and at 6 till half 6 is when a lot of the low-end meta cards are at their cheapest on the game, right? Everyone's on the game opening packs. I think this was a Monday. It does not matter what the day was. But essentially, we were looking at Ball Day, and at 6 o'clock, he was around 1.3 or 1.4 thousand coins, and it looks like he's up now already to 1.7 thousand coins. So you can see why this guy's great, right? I'm currently recording this midday. I guarantee at like 6 till 7 p.m., this guy falls back down to 1.3 or 1.4 thousand coins, and you could do this all over again. But all it was chem style trading, right? He sells for 1.6, 1.7 thousand coins, and when we did this, he had a nice gap of 2.1 thousand coins with an anchor. What you can see right now is he's only selling for about 1.9 thousand coins with an anchor. So it looks like this is not viable right now, which is fine because it's not 6 o'clock, it's not content time, right? So what we did was we waited for content, and when he drops down to this 1.3, 1.4 thousand coins, the gap on anchor was still up to about 1.7 or 1.8. So it's only a 300 coin gap. We were only on 10,000 coins, right? But what you can do is win so many of these cards. Because if you see, right, if you search this guy for 1.7, or is he 1.6 actually? He's a little bit lower. No, he's 1.7. But if you search him for 1.7, you'll already see towards the end how many there are with anchor when you get towards the 59th minute. Because the shadows take a while to pop up. But these anchors pop up so frequently, especially when you're looking at the 59th minute, because most of the anchors get bought up, right? Someone's bought that one, someone will buy that one very soon, and all the anchors get bought up. But we were just sitting on the last card here, compare price backing out for all the new cards to pop up, and we were buying all the anchors for 1.2, 1.3, even 1.4 thousand coins, and I'm sure you boys will have seen, right? We were selling them for like 1.7, 1.8 thousand coins. Why were we doing this card specifically, though? It's more because I knew this card sells really well with the shadow, right? If you can find other cards that sell amazing with the shadow, he sells it at 2.9 thousand coins with a shadow, like even that there. You can buy that and list it, right? He sells for like 2.9 thousand coins of a shadow. We've just found one for 2.2. I'm happy to list that one up at 2.9, especially as we're in a champs weekend at the moment. It's Sunday, so I guarantee someone will be buying that for their team, which is great, right? So the shadows, if you win one, is like 1.5, 2,000 coins profit. And then the anchors are a couple hundred coins profit, but they pop way more frequently. And we did this for basically an hour, boys. The first hour on the game, I did Ball Day. There are so many cards you can do this with. Frimpongs are the great one. As you see, you know, you see the pattern here of fullbacks. He is only really viable with a shadow. I'll show you exactly how you can find the gap as well, right? If you look at this Frimpong, let's find his base price first. And you can see that he's 2.5 thousand coins, right? So there you go, 2.5 thousand coins. All you would need to check was, is there a gap between his card at 2.5 and his card with an anchor? And it looks like the answer is pretty much no. He seems to be selling for 3, maybe 2.9. If you could sell this card for 2.9, After tax, it's about 2.7, you know, so there is 200 coins in that. I don't love it, right? 200 coins on a 3k card. Just it's a little bit less than Ball Day. But I guarantee with the Shadow, this guy's got a way bigger gap, right? There you go. So he's 2.5 thousand coins. With a Shadow, he's 4,000 coins. So you could do the exact same thing with Frimpong, but just look for Shadows instead. And maybe if you see, there you go, there's one right there for 2.5 thousand coins. See, first listing, right? So you can do the exact same thing. He's a little bit better than Ball Day for Shadows because basically you'll see Frimpong with a Shadow on more often. As you can see, we're getting some here, right? That is just because he has been a more expensive card for a while. So if you think about it like this, a lot of the more expensive cards, people put chem styles on because they're, you know, more willing to put a Shadow on Frimpong than on, you know, a 1,000 coin Ball Day. That's all it is, right? That's a reason he pops with Shadow a little bit more. But yeah, we were doing this a little bit as well. We did use Ball Day more, but then again, for the last sort of 10, 15, I do remember winning a few of the Frimpongs on Shadow, just for a few extra couple thousand coins. And like I say, that was the first hour, right? So we did this for an hour, and that took us from that 10k we got from McAllister and we got from Moments. It took us all the way up to 25,000 coins. That is fine. An hour's work for 15k feels very long, but you've got to remember, this was on a Monday. I think it was on a, you know, a slow day of the week, and we didn't have a lot of coins to work with. You are not going to be making 100k an hour every hour. It just doesn't work like that, right? You're going to have slow hours, and you're going to have hours where you make incredible coins, which we'll get onto later with one of the methods we were doing here, which made me more like 50k in an hour, which was crazy. And I'll jump onto that a little bit later. But that's what we did. Chem style trading. You can even see a few of the Frimpongs here, right? When we were doing him with the Ball Days, he was basically a couple thousand coins more expensive. So he was, you know, a couple thousand coins more expensive with the Shadow, but it's the same pattern, right? That's what we did. But what did we do in hours 1 to 2 to go from 25,000 coins to about 50,000 coins in an hour? Well, what we did was, I'm sure you boys will have seen, was silvers, the single best low budget trading method on the entire game, and it will be all year. A lot of you boys were letting me know that it's like, oh, but you did this on, you know, a Thursday when we got marquee matchups, and it meant that we can't do it anymore. That is so wrong. You can do this with any silver supply, any Thursday night, and any Friday night on the game. We don't get silver supply on Friday night, but a lot of people save their marquee matchups packs from Thursday night. And boys, we didn't really show you in the video that we put out, but we actually managed to sell every single card for a profit that we picked up on bid, right? And as you can see, there was loads. So what is the method? What were we doing? Well, we tried to show it in the video, but essentially when marquee matchups came out, boys, and we got the silver supply, we were just sat bidding on silvers. It was so simple. It wasn't even a great day for silvers with the silver tournament coming, but we were sat bidding on silvers like this Calvin Brackelman, I'm sure you'll have seen. He was about, oh, he is down, really down. That is very interesting, boys. On a side note, I might pick a few of these up because he is down at the minute. Just in general, these silver cards fluctuate. He was about 2,000 coins of the silver tournament, and he's down now at 1,000 coins. When he was 2,000 coins, we were picking him up on bid for 1 to 1.5 thousand coins, selling him for 2,000 coins in the hours that followed, and we just rinsed and repeated that, right? We just waited for an hour after silver supply, and I'll show you the exact cards we were using. Both of the spreadsheets, by the way, with all the chem style players on and all the silver players on, you can find in the free Discord below. They're all there pinned. But basically, we used Oku, Blackmon, Brackelman, and Conte. We used a few others, but they were the most popular ones. Igamains, we were picking up at 350, and we sold for about 750, 600 coins. Koulibaly, we were picking up at 700, 900, sold at 1.4. Picked up a Langas at about 1 to 1.2, sold at 1.7. The Brackelmans were great because we picked some of them up for as low as 300 coins, which is crazy. Godfrey was great as well, by the way. These were all picked up at 400 coins max, so a load of coins there in a short space of time. And you can see, right, we were basically just bidding on silvers that we knew were going to go up. We did this a little bit on the Twitch stream the other day, but most or almost all of this was on the Thursday where we got marquee matchup supply. And as you can see, right, we just bid on these a little bit below because we get the silver supply, we wait for a few hours, and we sell them for higher. We did that, like I say, for hours 1 to 2. It took almost bang on an hour. I did it from about 7 o'clock till 8 p.m. on the UK, so an hour after the silver supply. And we did that, and it took us almost exactly from the 25,000 to 30,000 coins we were on to 50 to 55,000 coins we were on. You could make a lot more than this if it was a really good set of silver supply, but loads of people we've seen were holding their packs for marquee matchups. And this actually might have been a better method on the Friday night. But on the Friday night, I'll get to what we did instead because it made even more coins. But yeah, this could have made even more coins on the Friday night than it did on the Thursday night if, you know, more people hold the packs for marquee matchups. But it was still great, as you can see. Picked up a load of card on bid. Even this moveset, I think we picked up with 3,000 coins, which again, not loads of profit, but 1,000 coins on such an easy pickup is just great. Right, that is covered hours 0 to hours 2, but from hours 2 to hours 5 was where we really started making coins and getting into the groove. And like I say, we actually spent less than 3 hours doing this, but I thought it was close enough, so we'll just round it up. You could make even more coins if you spent the full 5 hours. But we did a form of chemistry style trading that, you know, combined with evolutions, and it was genuinely amazing. I'll show you just how much is just printing coins. And then also, boys, just as a bonus for you, at the end of this, right, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you one more extra additional new method you can use to help go from 50 to 100,000 coins, as well as it'll just help you on 100,000 coins plus. It's slightly higher budget. It's great. It takes a little bit of learning, but I'll save that for the end. Let's jump into this first. I think what's important, you know, what's important to note is that, like I just said, we were doing this at Friday, 6 till 7 o'clock. So what does that mean? It means it's very, very active. We did this from 6 till about 9. But it was, like I say, that's 3 hours, but we were not, if you watch the live stream on Twitch, I'm sure you will have seen, we were not doing it for 3 hours straight, right? So I said 3 hours, but it was actually a little bit less than that. But we were using the most active times in the whole week, which is Friday night UK time. Saturday's also good, Sunday is also good, but not quite as good as Friday. And we were doing chemistry style trading, and we were doing a few different things. But the reason this printed so many coins was, like I just said, because of Evos. What happened was, I'm sure you boys would have seen the Openda Evo. There was an amazing striker Evo. And what happened was, do you see that we're getting a lot of this Ekatike and a lot of this Iosi Perez, right? You'll also see some other cards like Athena, Inaki Williams, but you can kind of see a majority of these cards until we get to the 82s were Iosi Perez and Ekatike, and you'll see they're selling for some quite ridiculous prices, right? All the Ekatikes for mid to high 2s, and a lot of the Iosi Perez for high 3s, right? And we were picking up every single one of these cards, including the Ekatike, including the Iosi Perez, for 800 coins. So let me explain. Right? There's not really much skill in this. What happened was, right, we got this Openda Evo, like I just said before, right? This is the El Capitan Evo. It is great. You've seen this Openda, you know, flew in price. He's now extinct. He's probably still extinct when you're watching this, no matter when you're watching this, because it is that good of an Evo, right? But what happened before this, right? If we just go back to the Xbox, what actually happened was, before that Evo came out, it was leaked that these two cards would be amazing for the Evo. And by the way, they are not bad at all for the Evo. They were both in it, you know, they get a good stat boost. They get Finesse Shot Plus. They're two very popular strikers, right? But what happened was, there is no pace boost from the Evo, which means the fast strikers like Openda were much more sought after. So these cards were sitting at like 5,000 coins before content, and now still on the game, which, you know, you can probably still do this method right now as you're watching. It's not like it's gone. They were sitting for like pretty much discard, because the sell-off on these Evos is crazy when they don't fit as well as people think, right? So they were sitting for about 1,000 coins, and it's the same for this Iosi Perez. He's slightly more as he is slightly better, but he's still about 1,000 coins, right? So what happened was, these fell from 5,000 to 1,000 coins, but because they were 5,000 coins, you can see, for example, this Iosi, the Hunters had an extraordinarily large gap on him, just because he was 5,000 coins earlier today, right? So he is 1,000 coins, and he is 4.3 thousand coins with a Hunter, right? Hunter sells for 5,000 coins, which means this is still cheaper to buy him with a Hunter on than it is to go and buy his regular card and put a Hunter on. But yeah, the reason there's such a big gap was, when he got bought up to about 5,000 coins in like preparation for the Evo, all the Hunter cards obviously get bought up. And then when he falls in price, it takes a very long time. It takes often a couple of days for the Hunter cards to fall back down in line with his price, and, you know, get closer to that 1,000 coins price point. And it's the same for Ekatike. He had the exact same rise, and the Hunter cards just take a lot longer to fall back down in line with his normal price, which means for a couple of days, and this, like I say, this will work for future Evos, boys. This is a really good skill to learn. These cards have extraordinarily large gap with Hunters. He is still sat at 2,500 coins. Not only that, right? Not only do they have large gaps on, but because loads of people invested in these cards, it means that they were getting listed extraordinarily compared to other cards. I was picking up so many of them every single like 10 minutes, because so many people were trying to sell off their Evo investments, and they still will be, right? The filter we were using for this was just the generic Hunter filter. The generic Hunter filter, a lot of you boys will know, but a lot of you guys won't. It's just simply where you put gold rare, Hunter, and you find what the cheapest card is with a Hunter. So right now, it's about 950 to 1,000 coins, right? So you could put a 950 coins in. You could even put 1,000 coins in, actually, because if you put 1,000 coins in, a few more cards pop up. And of course, if we see an Ekatike for 1,000 coins, we know we can buy it because we can sell it for like 2,500 coins. But what this shows you is all the cheapest cards on the market with a Hunter. And all I was doing, boys, on Friday night for a couple hours, like I say, with little breaks in between, looking at some silvers and looking at some other cards, was compare price and backing out on this last card here, waiting for new cards to pop up. This is why we weren't just getting Ekatike and Iosi Perez. We were getting other things as well, right? But you will see here, if you keep doing this, eventually, and if you do this around content times, at heavy times, loads of stuff pops up, right? And every Ekatike that popped up was 2,000 coins profit. And every Iosi Perez that popped up was 3,000 coins profit. And because so many people were listing them off, it was crazy, right? So if you do this around content time, it'll be the exact same. And you can also pick up a load of the other cards. It's not just them two that sell really well. As you'll see from the transfer list, actually, if we go back to it, loads of the cards sell really well, right? We tried to get rid of a few of them, like I say, to make space for others. We picked up a Diaby, he sold for 2,000. And remember, these are all picked up for below 1,000 coins. Gakpo sold for 1.5, Pulisic for 1.8, 1.3, and 1.5. We also picked up they're all the Perez. There you go, Athena. We picked up an Athena who sold for 3.3 thousand coins. And Naki for only 1.3. We then picked up some Ezes who sell for 1.8. Another 1.2 there from him. These were doing the exact same thing, but with Shadow, but I don't like that one just as much. We got a Matoma who sold for 1.4, one who sold for 1.3, a Jolinson for 1.3. You can just see how well these sell. We even got a Cherky who sold for 3.7 with a Hunter, Alanga for 1.4, Anthony for 2.2. You can see, right, how much profit this was bringing us in. And an Endrick, by the way. He fit the Evo as well, I think, so he sold for 3,000 coins because he was very similar to Iozi and Ekatike, just not quite as popular. So it wasn't just them two making us coins. They were just a large majority of it. And again, let's see if anything popped up there. Obviously, we get Hanko. We don't want defenders. And you can see, by the way, you clearly don't want Wisset and Moise Keane because they're just not really selling, right? So they're two cards you clearly don't want. And you obviously don't want any defenders like this Hanko. But anything that pops up for like 800 coins or below, it's just an easy buy. And a lot of the cards that you've just seen, like Endrick, Matoma, Jolinton, Neto, they all sell for 2,000 coins. So if they pop up for like 1,000 coins with a Hunter, you can just go ahead and buy that, right? Obviously, you know, we're doing this midday at UK. Not going to be anywhere near as busy right now. We just get a Barcola for 900 coins. As I'm saying, it's not busy. And let me show you exactly how I find out what they sell for, because it is really easy, right? If you go Barcola, all you're going to do is check him and just check him with a Hunter straight away. You don't need to check his regular price because it doesn't really matter. And you can just see what he sells with a Hunter. He looks to sell for about 2,000 coins, 1,000 coins profit, just like that. And that's what we were doing so often on that Friday night. That took us genuinely from near 50 to 100,000 coins in just a few hours. It was that OP. List them at 1.9, that'll sell. If you do this combined with the bonus method I'm going to show you in a few minutes, you will fly. The second thing to look out for is these Evos, right? You can do this all year round. This is such a valuable skill to learn. When we get a new popular Evo, what you're looking for is cards that were really hyped for the Evo and then fell right down in price, right? Mendy would actually be an amazing example. This Evo was a while ago, right? It was at Scream, but Mendy would be an amazing example because he's such a popular left back and he sells really well with a Shadow because of that. So if Mendy, for example, fell a few thousand coins, then you're almost guaranteed to see a big gap on this card between his regular price and his Shadow price. He probably already has one, right? He's 4,000 coins, and with a Shadow, he probably already has a little gap because he's just such a good card. He looks like to be like 6,000 coins. That 5.2 will sell, and he's right back towards 6,000 coins. He already has a 2,000 coin gap with a Shadow. That means you could already sit here and Shadow Chem style trade him by compare price backing out. But imagine, right, if he got a hyped Evo and went up to 8,000 coins, and then he falls back after it comes out to like 4,000 or 3,000 coins. That gap with a Shadow could genuinely like be anywhere from like 3,000 to 5,000 coins, which is just crazy, right? You'll then get loads of people listed in because obviously loads of people invest for the Evo. They then sell them off in panic when it doesn't go up. Loads of people list their cards with a Shadow without realizing. You sit in there and scoop up all the profit, and it can be crazy, right? I'm sitting doing this midday. We might get a Shadow card. We might not. Of course, it's, you know, he's not at an Evo right now. This is just me showing you what could happen in the future and what sort of cards to like look out for. It's all about the new hype Evo when you're on the game. So that is all well and good. You should hopefully be getting towards, you know, 50 to 100,000 coins on any account you've got. But what is the bonus method that can take you there even faster? Let me show you this one. I'm really excited by it, right? Because it gets to use special cards, and we all like trading. We're just more exciting higher rank cards rather than using silvers and bronzes. I love silvers, but I know a lot of you boys don't like trading with the lower rank cards. That is fine. So let me show you this method, okay? Now, there are two ways you can do, you can do this method, basically. I'm just so kind and so nice that I'm going to show you both of them for free. Just what a guy, right? Both of them, by the way, just as good as the other. I don't really have a preference. You can do either. The difference here is, or I guess not the difference, but something you need to acknowledge is both of them will take learning prices. So have a little bit of patience. But when you learn them, God, you will fly, okay? It is special card chem style trading, but it's very, very different than regular chem style trading. The only two chem styles this will work on is Shadow and Hunter, because with gold, you can sometimes get away with Anchor. With its specials, they're just too expensive, right? You're going to do the exact same method for both Shadow and Hunter, but I will show you both. Number one, right, is you're going to look for Shadows and Hunters at the cheapest of what like the specials sell for. So basically, what are the cheapest special cards? Not gold team of the week, by the way, just special. What are the cheapest special cards with a Shadow on and with a Hunter on? And that's the first step, right? So have a look. It'll change when you're on the game. You can do this all year round, so just go and check. So I've just searched it up, and the cheapest Shadow specials are 12,000 coins, and cards like this Lejuli are really good for it. She actually normally sells for more with a Shadow, and I might even just check this one live to see if there's a little bit of a gap here, because basically this is the exact method, right? these specials sell for really, really well with shadows and hunters because people will always just look to buy them with shadow cards on. This is why she's cheap. Someone's mass listing her. Can you see? Someone's mass listing all of these cards. That's why she's cheap, right? But yeah, these cards often sell really well with shadows and hunters because people don't really care about paying a few extra 1,000 coins for buying their shadow or hunter card when they're buying specials because they're already paying 10, 20k, so they just kind of buy it. Look at the mass list going on from this guy here. That's crazy. Most of these are just one guy listing because you can tell by the time there. Anyway, it looks like she sells for about 12,500 coins with the shadow, right? Which is why there's no profit in that. But essentially, right, go back to this method here, shadow chem style trading. You go back to what they sell for the cheapest and you do this and you put it in, right? All you're going to do here is look to buy the meta midfielders and defenders with shadow for anything 11,000 coins and below, right? And they will pop up because a lot of these special cards sell for 11,000 coins and below anyway, and people will forget they've got a shadow on them and they'll just list them up. So 11.5 there is probably a good buy. I'll risk this one live on stream because I do not, or I guess live on video. I don't know the price of this card. We'll end up seeing if it's a good buy, but 11.5 seems fine to me. If you're doing this new, I'd buy anything at 11 and below because the, least you can sell them for is 11,750 according to the filter because, that's the cheapest. So even if you sell them for 11,750, it's like 200 coins profit. But, you're hoping for more, but it's just in case you don't know prices. The way you learn prices, by the way, is just by doing this method over and over again. Keep looking at the cards that pop up because it'll only be a select few cards that pop up, right? And then you can check what they sell for with the chem style. So we just picked up Pablo Fornals for 11.5. Let's see if he has a decent gap with the shadow. He might not. He does. Brilliant. What an example, right? So he looks to sell for about 14.50 with a shadow, and we just picked ours up for 11.50. That's near 2,500, 3,000 coins profit. And again, this is not at peak time. We're not doing this at, like 6 o'clock on a Friday. And I'll tell you at the end as well exactly when I think you should do this because I think there's a few windows. What you'll see here is we got him with a shadow for that. We will list mine at 14,250 because I don't have much space in the transfer list and I need these cards selling. That's just a great example, a great bit of profit there. And it'll work the exact same with Hunter, right? You don't do anything different. You just do special card Hunter. You find what the cheapest is. It might be slightly different. It looks to be 12,000 coins as well. Great. Obviously now you're looking for the meta strikers and midfielders, 11,000 coins, right? The reason this method's so good is a lot of the cards that actually pop for 12,000 coins will be worth buying. You won't know that at first. So, for example, that Pablo Fornals, right? Imagine I was on the shadow filter. If he popped again, but for 12,000 coins, I now know he's a buy. I don't need him to pop for 11 or 11.50. I know that I can buy him for 12, sell him for 14, and make some coins. You won't know that at first. It takes just being on the filter and learning, right? If a card pops up for 12,000 coins and you want to know what it sells for with a hunter, don't buy it. Just go and check, right? I'll see if we can get a card popping up here and I'll let you know how I'd find the price. Again, like Pablo Fornals. While we're searching as well, boys, one little extra tip is when I'm saying meta cards, all these cards are special, so you might think they're all meta. The cards you're looking to avoid basically are discard team of the weeks. There's a lot of team of the weeks on the game that just won't sell no matter what chem styles on them because they're crap. They are fodder. So just avoid discard team of the weeks. In general, promo cards are better because 99% of promo cards are at least usable with a chem style on. There you go. Even Romero. Again, we'll try and buy it. No one's on this filter right now, which is great. Again, it's not 11,000 coins, so it'd be a little bit risky buying this, but I'll go and do it live for you boys now. Ivan Romero, let's go and check what he sells for with a hunter. And again, you can lazy sell these cards really well, right? So I sold that Pablo Fornals at 14,250 because I kind of just need the transfer space, right? If you sold him for like 14,750 or even at 15,000 coins, I guarantee you could find that sale. What is this guy's bloody name? Was it not Ivan Romero? Oh my god, it is. He just happens to be like a 70 rated silver card. That's weird. Anyway, let's go check what he sells for with a hunter. It looks to me like this one's not as good, right? You can see a couple 1250s, a 12,750. It looks to me you could sell this quite easily at 12,500 coins. As you can see, the 12,500 coins, not much supply of them. There seems to be one there and a couple there. So it looks like you can sell at 12,500 coins. And you could sell them quickly at 12.250, which is what I'm going to list for. Which means on this card, you're only making, what, a couple hundred coins, right? Not much. It does mean that you now know that even Romero, you only really want to pick him up below sort of, 11,000 coins and below, right? So, for example, now you're starting to build the knowledge. You know that even Romero, because you would have gone, you'll have gone and checked this price, that you only want to pick him up at 11,000 coins. And you now know that Pablo Fornals, you can pick up at 12,000 coins. That's exactly how you learn prices. That is method 1. That is so much knowledge for you boys, but here is method 2, where you have 2 different ways of doing it. This one's a slightly higher budget method, but you boys will be like flying by now. So you're going to be getting towards 100,000 coins, and you can start doing this method 2. I don't really have a name for this method, boys. I'm going to call it the 11, 30, of 100 method, because I don't have anything else to call it. You put 11,000 coins in the max price. The min by now, you actually put just above 30,000 coins. All will be explained, don't worry. And then max by now, 100,000 coins, right? And then again, we're looking for chem styles, shadows, and hunters. It's a similar method, just a different way of finding the cards, right? Here, what you are looking for is cards that sell for more than 30,000 coins, less than 100,000 coins, but sell for more with a hunter and a shadow. And I'll try and find you some examples. These are the types of cards that lazy sell really well. And these are also the types of cards where if you do them at the right times, which I'll explain in just a second, you can make some extra coins by when these cards rise in price as well. Right, let me explain the method and the numbers we've just used, because here is a great example of it not working here for the hunter and how you can fix the filter to get it to work, right? All you're looking to do with these numbers is have it so there is only one card over the hour. And can you see there is so many cards over the hour at 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, 1 days here, right? The reason for this is just because of certain price ranges and different things. And there is an easy way to fix this, right? The first way you fix this is you lower the 11,000 coins to 10.5. Because basically, you only want one card over the hour. So you can, lower that and it gets rid of some of the cards over the hour. But as just seen on this hunter filter, this won't fix it because as you can see, there's still loads of cards popping up, right? The next thing you can do is up the minimum buy now or lower the maximum buy now. I can see that this will be one dude listing all their Rodrigos. I could not tell you why, but they're all at like 88,000 coins, right? Which means if we just lower this to like 84,000 coins, you have to put a chem style back in every single time. But if you lower this down, it should get rid of most of the cards. After a bit of tinkering, boys, this is the filter you would have to use, right? I've switched it from the 10.5, 49, 79, basically because this is the only filter you can get it, so there's only one card over the hour, right? This one here right now is clearly not a great time to be doing this because someone is mass listing the Rodrigos. So you could straight away move on to shadows and try it there. But anyway, boys, it's the exact same concept, right? These cards will sell for more than they sell for with their, regular card when they've got a shadow and a hunter on them. And we can go and check one of the prices right now. We could even go and check Rodrigo, right? Again, I prefer doing this with special cards rather than team of the weeks. But if we go and check Rodrigo's price, you'll see what I mean. So you can see here, Rodrigo sells for about 75 or 76,000 coins with a hunter. These more expensive card, boys, you need to learn to lazy sell. They lazy sell really, really well. So you could definitely sell it for 76,000 coins. Because basically what happens is these cards at the end get bought up. And then these cards here, they start to sell, right? This works really well when these cards rise into Weekend League and different things. But basically that filter is just how to do more expensive cards. And it works the exact same with Shadow. Shadow seems to be working a little bit better at the moment. So if I personally was going to do this method, I would do it on Shadow. As you put 11 there, I think you put 30 on Shadow, 3250. Just try from the same... Oh, that's a million. We don't want that. But if we try from the same 100,000 coin filter that we had before, we should be a lot closer to only having one over the hour, and it should just require a little bit less tweaking. If we go to the end there, yeah, there you go. Already one card over the hour. So this one's already working perfectly, and you could start to do this right away and learn some prices. So all, if you're like starting this method from scratch, you could go and check the Caicedo price with the Shadow, Renyard price, Bright price, Pavard, whatever you want to do, basically. Go and check the prices with the Shadow. Or you can just go and start compare price back out in and look straight away for the new cards and see if any of them are deals that way. I did say I'd tell you boys what time of day to do this to maximize the effect. And basically, it's going to always be 6 till 7 p.m. on UK time, as that is when these special cards here get low. They get low at 6 till 7 p.m. because people are opening packs. There's content coming out. And the second time you can do it is late at night on a Friday UK, late at night on a Saturday UK, and late at night on a Sunday UK, because these cards often spike in price when they're more rare on the game, so overnight, only with chem styles, not their base cards. So Pablo Fornals might not spike overnight, but his card with a chemistry style on, with a shadow chemistry style on, can spike overnight because there's a lot less of them on the game. Same with all the rest of the cards. That was a big one, boys. It was a lot to take in, but it's exactly how I went from 0 to 100,000 coins in less than 5 hours, and how you can do it as well going forward. So leave a like on the video if it did help you boys out whatsoever. And boys, actually, if you want an in-detail guide on this chem style trading, if you want to really get the gist of it, I've got a full guide on the channel. I'll put it on screen now. It's the next video to watch. It just goes into full detail on how I do chem style trading and all the different methods I use, like the one I showed you in the video. There is also a few more. But boys, apart from that, like always, until next time, I'll see you all in a bizzle.